Can you hold this position for 45 seconds? If you can't and you're an athlete, chances are that you have jumper's knee. And perhaps you were told you had chronic knee pain and you tried everything to fix it and nothing seemed to work. In this video, I have a very effective 3-step system to help reduce your knee pain while gaining athleticism for good. The crazy thing is none of the steps involve icing it, stretching it, or giving it medicine like all the doctors have told you in the past, giving you outdated scientific information. In order to understand the first step, you have to understand something called tendon resilience, and I promise you it's not as complicated as it sounds. Your tendon is what usually causes your knee pain in the front of the kneecap. This is called a patella tendon. You do more sports activities and you add load without progressing the load to your tendon, that's when it gets inflamed and it only gets worse over time. A simple example is that you never have knee pain and then one day you randomly decide to go play basketball for 6 to 7 hours with your friends, and now you can't even walk up the stairs due to the knee pain that you have for the next 3 to 4 days, sometimes even the next week. So if we want to prevent the tendon from getting inflamed, we have to first heal the tendon and then build resilience in the tendon so it can handle more training load without it getting inflamed in the future. Then we would go through a 3-step progression or regression for you for the 90-degree isometric hold. For 90-degree isometric hold, you want to put one foot in the front and another foot in the back, twist the back foot to the left and then twist it back again. And then you can go in a lunge position, or you could just take one step out and just get into a basic lunge if you kind of understand what the movement's like. Then you want to sink all the way until your knee is almost touching the floor, but you could raise it up a little bit. You don't want your knee on the floor, and you pretty much want your front foot, the kneecap, to be over the toe or behind the toe vertical, so the shin will actually be upwards facing up. And then you want your torso to be tall, and you really want to squeeze the big toe of the front foot. This will activate your glute, and then your glute should be turned on, as well as your quad and even the back hip flexor on the left side. Now, while you're in this position, you're going to breathe, take a 5 to 7 second breath in, and then you want to breathe out until your core is activated and squeezing, and you go through that cycle and hold for as long as humanly possible. A little tip I want to give out is that a lot of people feel pain in the knee right away from doing this exercise. That's actually what we want. I'll explain it later, but you do not want to shy away from the pain. You actually want to give it stress, because when you stress the tendon, then you'll actually rebuild to be stronger. It's just like a muscle. When you stress and break down, let's say your chest, it will build back so you can actually be stronger next time. That way it can prevent yourself from damaging the chest again. Speaking of muscle, step number 2 actually involves building muscle around the tendon so you can help further build resilience long-term around the patella tendon. To keep it as simple as possible, a weak muscle around the tendon will eventually go down the chain below it, which will end up hurting things like your calf, your shins, and your ankle complex. So as long as you keep developing the correct muscles up the chain, then down the chain will be better. So the research shows that the quads are super important for your patella tendonitis. So the quad is going to be the main muscle we focus on, and the exercise we're going to do to help develop the quads is a slow eccentric leg press or a slow eccentric step down. The reason why these are really important is because in the research, eccentric training is shown to build some of the most muscle and give the most muscle damage. So if we focus the quads with these 2 exercises and do slow eccentric, so we prolong the time under tension, then we will probably get the most results in terms of muscle building around all 4 quads that we need to prevent knee pain in the front of the kneecap. I'm going to show you the eccentric step down version because that's something you can do right now at home with any type of bench. All you're going to do is step on a bench, and this is very simple. You're going to slow down and step down for at least 7 to 10 seconds. I know that sounds ridiculous, but you're going to learn how to be strong in every single inch of your movement. So you're just standing on, let's say, a simple bench or a simple chair in your move. Make sure it's stable so you don't hurt yourself. And then you're going to step down slowly, and you want to have a forward lean in your torso slightly, but keep your back straight the entire time. This will activate a little bit of your glute, but if you stay more vertical torso, that'll activate more quad. But if you're getting too much knee pain, then we could probably try to lean forward a little bit more to give a little bit less stress to the patella tendon. And then you want to control every single inch of the movement and aim for 7 to 10 milliseconds. So you're not going to just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. That way you're actually getting the most time under tension during this lift, and we can probably go for about 3 sets of 6, or if you want to do a little bit more of a muscle building stimulus, we could do 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 10 reps. The next and final step is exposing the tendon to harsh forces gradually. No emphasis of progression is probably the main reason why you even get knee pain in the first place. When you start spiking your training load and you just start randomly playing basketball 2 times a week for 6 hours when you're not even a real athlete, you sit on the couch for most of the day, you're only asking for your tendon to get inflamed to the point of no return. So the final step is to do the simple progression to expose the lower limbs and the tendon to plyometrics in a progressive way so you can prevent knee pain for good. For the first part of the progression, you're just gonna do pogos, barefoot, and going forward distance. A lot of people do jump rope, but imagine doing jump rope, but you're going forward and you're going backwards. All you want to do is be reactive off the ground, act like the floor is lava, and you want to get off the lava very fast. But you also want to jump a little bit high, and you want to do that for about 10 to 20 meters forward and then 10 to 20 meters backwards. When you're going forward, you're mainly using the ankle complex, but you're going to get a little bit of glute, a little bit post chain. Then we're going backwards, we're going to get a little more quad, a little bit more knee pain, but we want to stress, remember, that way we can build to be stronger next time. Once you do this progression for about 1 to 2 weeks, if you feel like you're ready to go on to the next set, even after the first workout, then we can go into lunge jumps. This is going to be deep knee lunge jumps. You could do band assisted at first, or you could do band resisted if you feel like your tendon's a little bit stronger to get a little more stress to the tendon. And all you're doing is getting dropping as fast as possible into a deep lunge position. You want your knees over your toes on the front one, and you're going to jump and then switch to the other side, and then you want your knee to track over your toe on the next one, and you want to keep trying to develop as much power for 3 sets of maybe 8 to 12 reps. So we're going a little bit higher on the reps. This isn't really for power development, this is for tendon resilience. Once again, same stuff. Whether you're doing band assisted or band resisted or body weight, you want a vertical torso. You want to swing your arms back on the descent and then swing them up on the ascent, so the concentric portion. Then the last progression is sprinting forward and backwards. So these are max effort sprints. You're going for time, or you're trying to race someone. This might look a little goofy, but obviously you're going to sprint forward like you're running a 40-yard dash, trying to time it. And then you're gonna take some rest, make sure you're nice and well rested. You're gonna do a couple sprints backwards. Yes, I know this sounds crazy. As fast as possible. You're exposing the patella tendon to a lot of load at very fast velocities, which is where the injuries happen. This is where the ACL tears happen. This is where the tendon gets stretched out just a little bit too much, is these fast plyometrics. You wanna do 6 sets of 20 meters backwards or forward, or you can do both in one workout. Honestly, it's a pretty good workout, just that alone. All this can either be regressed with assistance or progressed with band resistance to make this harder or easier on the tendon, that we can actually build up and build the resilience in the knee that you need for good. That's why plyometric training and isometric training are great for all athletes who are trying to become more athletic and get rid of injuries. But if this video did not complete the entire picture for you, make sure you watch this video right here on how to actually become more athletic. That way when you get rid of knee pain, you can actually get athletic afterwards.